Hey everybody, Jim Polzin, Lee Sports Wisconsin columnist, back for another week of Open Gym, the video version in which I pick one question from a reader. This week's question comes from Rob at FinleyR27 on Twitter. He wants to know, now that we're a month into the season, how do you change your crystal ball for the Badgers men's basketball team in the Big Ten race? Good question, Rob. Thanks for submitting it. The Badgers are 8-2, which is probably about where I thought they'd be from a record standpoint. I think the difference is that they're a more impressive 8-2 than I thought they'd be. I've really been impressed by how far along this team is for as young as it is. I couldn't be more impressed by the start they've gotten off to, and I think that bodes well for the rest of the season. What does it mean in the Big Ten race? This team was picked to finish 10th by the Big Ten media before the season began. Now, I wasn't part of that poll, but I agreed with it. I thought 10th sounded like a reasonable finish when the season began. I think my expectations have grown from there. I think this is maybe not a top 4 team. I think there's too many question marks in terms of shooting and post defense. I just don't think they're one of the elite teams in the Big Ten yet. However, I think maybe this could be a 5th, 6th, 7th place team, somewhere in that range where you at least have one bye in the Big Ten tournament. Right now I think Purdue's the class of the Big Ten, even though they lost at Rutgers. I think they're still in Tier 1. That Tier 2 group is pretty jumbled. Illinois, Michigan State, Michigan, Ohio State certainly. I throw UW, Indiana, and Iowa in there too. So I think Wisconsin could be maybe a 5th or 6th place team. I think Ken Palm's got them finishing 11-9 in the Big Ten, 21-10 overall. That sounds reasonable to me. I think, give or take a game, that sounds like a reasonable finish. I think there's going to be some down points like we saw at the second half at Ohio State, but I do think this team has a ton of potential. Johnny Davis has blossomed into a star. I think some of the other guys around him have to play a little bit better, but I can understand why fans are encouraged, and I'm certainly encouraged after watching him play. So thanks for reading. Check below for the rest of the Open Gym mailbag this week. We've got a lot going on at madison.com. Dennis Punzel, our star volleyball semi-retired reporter, is out in Columbus already. He'll have a ton of coverage leading into the Wisconsin versus Louisville Final Four game on Thursday. I'm flying out Wednesday, so I'll be out there for the match on Thursday, and however far the Badgers go, I'll be out there for that too. Colton Bartholomew has been really hard working on National Signing Day stuff leading into the event. He'll have a ton of stuff out of Wednesday's signing day about the Badgers and some of the guys that they signed. Todd Milewski doesn't have any games this week, but he's always hard at work. As I like to say with Todd, he's like the Roy Kent of Richmond FC. He's here, he's there, he's every bleeping where. So Todd will have some good stuff. He's always working on stuff in the future. Abby Schnabel will be at Wisconsin versus Nichols Wednesday night. You can throw out the records when Wisconsin hosts Nichols in a non-conference men's basketball game. So check out her coverage. And we've got to have a ton of other stuff. So check us out at madison.com. Give me some questions next week for Open Gym, and thanks for joining us.